Okay, let's just dive right into it. If you're a beginner or an intermediate golfer, this is probably one of the biggest questions on your mind. When is the right time to get fitted for golf clubs? I mean, you might be playing a box set, some hand-me-downs, or maybe clubs you just grabbed off the shelf. Today, we are going to pinpoint that exact moment when you should seriously consider taking that next step.
You have to ask yourself this question. The reality is your clubs can either be this incredible tool that accelerates your progress, or they can be an anchor, actively holding you back. And the worst part, you might be fighting your own equipment without even knowing it. The whole point is to make your clubs work for your swing, not the other way around. All right, so the very first place we're going to look for answers isn't your swing at all. It's your body. There are some really obvious physical characteristics that are just immediate red flags. Signs that a standard off-the-rack set of clubs is probably not going to work for you. This quote just tells the perfect story. The source material talks about a guy's brother-in-law who's just massive. We're talking 6'5". So can you imagine handing him a standard set of clubs? It was a total recipe for disaster. But getting him fitted right from the jump put his game on a completely different, way faster trajectory. It's just a classic, perfect example of a physical mismatch. And look, it is not just about height. If you're a junior player, you absolutely need clubs that match your current size and strength. Same thing goes for a lot of women golfers who often end up with clubs that are just way too heavy. And that can build some really bad habits right from day one. So if you fall into any of these outlier categories, a fitting isn't some luxury, it's a flat-out necessity. Okay, so maybe your body type isn't an extreme outlier. That's totally fine. The next place to look for clues is in your actual performance on the course, and more specifically, how you strike the golf ball. Trust me, your ball flight and your divots, they're telling you a story. You just have to learn how to read it. This right here, this is the big one. Ask yourself honestly, are you hitting the turf before the ball, leading to those fat, chunky, super inconsistent shots? Or have you started to master that crisp ball-then-turf contact that carves out a beautiful little divot after the ball? Once you start consistently getting that descending blow, feeling that compression, that is your green light. It is absolutely time to get fitted. It means your technique has evolved, and now your equipment has to catch up. And it's not just about the strike. Do any of these sound familiar? Maybe you find yourself actively changing your swing because you're terrified of that slice. Or your hands hurt after a round because the grips are all wrong. And here's a really subtle one. If you've played enough to actually feel the difference between a soft golf ball and a hard one, you have developed enough skill to really benefit from clubs that are dialed in just for you. So you've seen the signs and you're ready to go. Now, it's really important to reframe what a fitting actually is. This is not a one-time transaction. It's not a purchase. It's the beginning of an ongoing journey that's going to run parallel to the development of your golf game. And I promise, this whole process isn't nearly as intimidating as it sounds. For absolute beginners, especially those with those non-average body types we talked about, a static fitting is the perfect start. They just take some simple measurements, height, wrist to floor, to get you in the right ballpark. Then, once you're making pretty consistent contact, you graduate to a dynamic fitting. That's when you're hitting balls on a launch monitor, and all that data helps you fine-tune every single little variable. I love this slide. This represents a huge, huge change in mindset. You've got to stop thinking of your clubs as some static set that you buy once and you're done. No. Think of them as a squad, a team. You build this squad over time, adding and swapping players to make sure every single club in your bag is working together and is perfect for its specific job. And you can kind of see that journey laid out right here. You get that initial fitting, then maybe a year or two later, you check back in. Has your swing changed? Hopefully it's improved. Maybe you're now ready to add a new hybrid or a specialized wedge to your squad. See, it's a process of continuous improvement where your clubs evolve right along with your game. Now, if you need any more convincing about how important all this is, you just have to look at the best players in the world. Seriously, their approach to their equipment provides the ultimate proof of concept that fitting is completely non-negotiable if you're serious about getting better. Think about this for a second. Tour professionals get their clubs checked every single week. They are constantly tweaking their lofts, their lies, their shafts, everything for different courses and different conditions. This detail about Tiger Woods is just It's unbelievable. He paid such close attention that he knew the exact level of wear he wanted on his grips for a specific major championship. He knew when he needed fresh grooves for firm turf versus maybe some worn-in grips for a little more feel. I mean, that is the absolute highest level of equipment management.
So the takeaway here is really simple. If the players who have the most talent and the most skill in the entire world believe that precisely fitted equipment gives them an edge, well, then it's an advantage that the rest of us simply cannot afford to overlook. It's a fundamental piece of the puzzle of getting better.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. The golfer you are today is not the golfer you're going to be in 2 years, right? You take lessons, you practice, you get stronger, you get better. Your swing is a living, evolving thing. So the real question you have to ask is, why would you let it be held back by a static, unchanging set of tools?